Chuck Schumer just confronted Pete Hegseth and demanded he testify over the Venezuela strike. And the shocking part is that Schumer isn't backing down this time. He's coming forward with every piece of evidence in hand, fully prepared to expose what happened and who gave the orders. And unlike before, Trump won't be able to shield Hegseth from this fallout, because what Pete did has crossed every line of legality and basic humanity. This time, the truth is coming out, and it's about to get really bad for Pete Hegseth.
Should Donald Trump proceed, the Senate will immediately respond. Should a strike occur, we will force a debate in Congress and force a vote to prevent the U.S. troops to be in hostilities against Venezuela. Our troops' safety and our national security is at stake. I urge both sides to stand ready to assert the powers of Congress on matters of war and peace should the need arise, because the rules of the Congress allow us to require a vote on this issue should the need arise. On Hegseth, I want to say a word about Secretary Hegseth. I don't think we have ever seen someone so unserious, so childish, so obviously insecure serving as Secretary of Defense as Pete Hegseth. And that should alarm every single one of us. Secretary Hegseth loves to look tough. He loves to boast about the lethality of our forces. He wants to be taken seriously, but yesterday he posted a ridiculous tweet of a cartoon turtle firing on alleged drug traffickers, a sick parody of a well-known children's book. This man is a national embarrassment. Tweeting memes in the middle of a potential armed conflict is something no serious leader would ever even think of doing. The only thing this tweet accomplishes is to remind the world that Pete Hegseth is not up to the job. But of course, this is much more serious than memes on Twitter. A few days ago, the Washington Post reported that Secretary Hegseth gave a spoken directive to kill all the occupants of the first alleged drug boat struck by U.S. forces. If the reports in the Washington Post are accurate, this may expose those involved to legal consequences. What we need right now, more than anything else, is the truth, the facts, which is precisely what Secretary Hegseth has refused to give. There are tapes in the possession of the Department of Defense that would show exactly what happened during these military strikes. Secretary Hegseth has an obligation to be truthful, so he should release those tapes. He says the Washington Post account is not correct, so why not release the tapes and prove it? If he refuses to release these tapes, it calls into question the truthfulness of his account. The tapes will show one way or the other what happened and whether Hegseth is telling the truth. If Secretary Hegseth has nothing to hide, he should not fear being truthful. In the meantime, Republicans in the House and Senate, including the chairman of the Senate Armed Services Committee, have promised, quote, vigorous oversight on these strikes. This is very encouraging, and I thank them for working in a bipartisan way on this matter. But now Republicans in both chambers must follow through. We need congressional hearings. We need full and transparent briefings from the Pentagon. And most importantly, the committees should continue to demand Secretary Hegseth release the tapes. This is such a serious matter that Secretary Hegseth himself should come before the Congress to testify under oath about the nature of his order, the evidence supporting the strikes, and an explanation for what the goals are in Venezuela.
What Chuck Schumer is laying out here is a direct warning. The administration moved U.S. forces toward a potential conflict with Venezuela without congressional authorization, and Pete Hegseth may have issued an unlawful kill order that violates both U.S. military law and international law. Schumer isn't talking about politics. He's talking about legality, accountability, and the safety of U.S. service members. His message is simple. If Hegseth claims the reporting is false, he should release the tapes. If he refuses, the question becomes unavoidable. What is he trying to hide? Schumer makes it clear that this isn't about memes or swagger. It's about a Secretary of Defense who may have given an illegal command and then tried to conceal the evidence. And if that's the case, the consequences don't fall on the troops. They fall on the official who gave the order. And the irony is brutal, because back in 2016, Pete Hegseth said on camera that no soldier should ever follow an illegal order, even from a president, and that the person who gives that illegal order should face the consequences. Watch this clip.
There are some guys at Leavenworth who made really bad choices on the battlefield. And I do think there have to be consequences for abject war crimes. If you're doing something that is just completely unlawful and ruthless, then there is a consequence for that. That's why the military said it won't follow unlawful orders from their commander-in-chief. There's a standard, there's an ethos, there's a belief that we are above what so many things that our enemies or others would do.
And now, with the evidence piling up, the Secretary of War is about to face a level of backlash he never imagined. Even Trump, the man who used to protect these people like his life depended on it, is suddenly acting clueless. When asked about the second strike, Trump literally said, "I have no idea. Pete's in the right position to do whatever he wants." That's insane. That's not oversight. That's not leadership. That's abandonment. And it proves how radioactive this scandal has become. But the most unbelievable part? Pete Hegseth has now lied twice about the Venezuela strike. Not misremembered, not classified details. He flat out contradicted himself. First, he swore he didn't know anything about a second strike. Then, suddenly, he reversed himself and claimed that he approved the second strike and that it was done under his orders. According to international law, that is a massive violation, and legally, it moves this scandal into the territory of potential war crimes. And now, within days, maybe even hours, Pete Hegseth is staring down the possibility of being dragged into both a congressional hearing and a federal courtroom at the same time. The fall is coming fast, and this time, there's no one left to catch him.